And just because you have to get your chest to the bar doesn't mean you throw your body positioning out of whack. You stay more hollows, get tighter to allow more of a coil. So we get here, this is a good position, my hollow body, and we start that swing. And then hips, hips, hips. Okay? And the reason why I'm emphasizing this, guys, is you're starting to build up your hip speed. Okay? So let's go ahead and give that a try, guys. 2, maybe 3 tries at a chest to bar. Okay? 2 or 3 tries at a chest to bar pull. Try this by having more explosion through your hips. So big hips and keep your arms straight. If you need a couple swings to do it, that's fine. There you go. Bigger hips. Boom. Big hips. Big hips. Big hips. There. Does that look different? So a lot less, because the first 2 she did, she stopped and then pulled herself to the bar. That one was actually a fluid motion. So to clean that up, what we want to try to do is try to get our hips as close to the rings as possible, but it's through explosive hips that we're doing it. It's that opening, that aggressiveness of the hips that. Oh, like that. And you see any pull-ups. All right? Think that through. Okay. So, if you're able to do a hip to bar pull-up, you have no problem getting over it. Right? Guys, try and get as high up as you can. Try a few reps. Yes?
Are we going more like horizontal or more vertical?
Yeah, it's impossible to really do that vertically. And if you do, you're doing a bar muscle up. Yeah, so you're trying to get as horizontal as possible. I'll tell you how to finish it. Like, that's our next step. We have this position here. We're going to get into our hollow body. This is no different than what we were holding on the ground, right? Is there anything real different except my hands are now on the ring? Right? We all agree. So my rib cage is down, my butt is on, my toes are pointed. As Myra says, we got to spot those toes, right? So from here, I'm going to start using my hips. So I get a little bit of bounce, right? And then hips. Right? Bounce, bounce, hips. So I'm not pulling myself up to the rings right now, guys. You haven't seen that. My arms really aren't doing anything. It is my hips that are almost hyperextending to get up to the rings, which is another reason why it's very important to have the hip mobility and the glute activation, because this is a glute activation drill. You got to notice. So I'm here. Okay. My hips are low. I'm spotting my toes. From here, I'm just going to come down and then come up. Boom. Hips. 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 Makes sense? Makes sense? Simple. All we're doing is we're extending our hips by aggressively squeezing our body. Alright? Let's go ahead and find yourself a green band. Let's just look at like 3 per set of rings. Get yourself a green band. We should have some more green bands around here. I know that people don't like to put them away after doing their mobility, but let's go like 3 per set of rings, and we can work on our hips. Jordan's going to be in his band. Make sure that it's not too tight for you, Jordan, because if your hips are able to sag a little bit, you can't get them up. Alright, good. So he's down, he gets into his good hollow line position, he's spotting his good. Now he's going to snap those hips straight up. Boom. Good. That was your hips. That was your pull. There you go. Good. Now, from here, okay, he's going to spot his toes, and as soon as his hips open, I want him to be thinking about doing the aggressive sit-up he's ever done in his life and getting to the lowest hip that he's ever gotten in his life. So it's hips, then sit-up. Okay. Was that a sit-up or was that a pull-through in your guys' eyes? It was a bit of a pull-through, right? So it's hips, and then thinking about spotting your toes and getting yourself through. That's okay. Give it a try. All right, stay there. Good. Hips, sit up. That's a bit better, right? Why? Because his dip ended up in the lowest dip that he's ever done in his life. Right? Okay, go ahead, relax. So, just to clean this up, when we're doing this, guys, your hips open, and then you follow that by spotting your toes and doing the sit-up. Okay? We haven't really talked about what our legs are going to do yet, just leave them in a pike position. So, we go from this nice seated position here, we're going to swing. Am I good? Sit up. And that looks like a lot of arm movement. Right? Try that one more time. So it's hips, sit up, arms relax. All the way through. I'm still looking down. Right? Alright. Everybody find yourself back to your bands. And now you're going to hips into the biggest, quickest sit up you've heard. Hips, sit up, heels. So hips. Okay? So pull the heels to the butt, clear the legs out the way. Alright, try that one more time. See, I said on Thursday about having awareness of what you're doing, right? And a lot of you guys have been saying to yourself, I use my hips. But as you can see, maybe you're not using your hips. Maybe this movement here is foreign to you still. Maybe this is why we can't do the snatch yet. Maybe this is why when we do a kick and pull up, your arms burn out very quickly. So being aware of what your body feels like and what hip extension feels like, guys, we can make this RTO just a hip extension, boot camp. That's stuff you have to do on your own. It's just not going to happen overnight. But you will find that as soon as you are able to use your hips, wow, I got my first muscle up. Wow, the snatch feels so much easier, right? And I usually find that people who have a little bit more use of their hips find that stuff easier. Others might have to learn it and then they fall into place. All right, so JP, what I want you to think about here is I want you to stay nice and relaxed on your arms. I want you to try and get your hips to the rings to start. Just hips to the rings. Okay? You can do a false grip or a regular grip, up to you. So we're going to do 3 swings and then you're going to bring your hips to the rings. 1, 2, and hips to the rings. Right? Wow, all right. We're getting there, right? Now, JP, I want you to do hips to the rings, and then I want you to do the fastest sit-up into the deepest dip that you've ever done in your life.
Hold on.
Yeah. I will spot you. Yes, you can't spot something. So 3 on the third. 1, 2, and hips, sit. Did that look easier than his first one? I wish I had your first one on camera, but did that look like he snapped through with velocity? That looked nice, right? Does anybody here think they might either want to try it, or Myra, I know you said you might want to try? Come on over. You want to talk about your first one? Myra, you can go first. Now, I'm going to spot Myra. She's going to do her first facing this way. I'm going to spot her. Way to have a spotter is I'm going to put my hand here. This is where you're going to kick to. Where you're not, because a tendency for people is they want to kick their feet to the ceiling. If you don't kick your feet to the ceiling, you get your hips open to the ceiling. So as soon as your feet get here, the hips open. And as soon as the hips open, then you can actually sit through. So I'm going to put your kicks here, and then I'm going to help you through. So it's almost like spotting a... Yeah, exactly. We're back up. Right? All right, so on the third, you're going to go ahead and swing. 1, 2, and 3. Almost there, right? Almost there. Give yourself a second. You're going to try that again. Jordan, you want to try that? What happened there, guys? What do you think? What happened? You sit up, not aggressive through. Yeah, and he wasn't getting spot